we just shift gears now into another beauty between Kai Sallas and Taylor Jensen. I mean, this is a showdown between two of the greats who have met many a times before, with a little bit of an advantage perhaps, having surfed that first semi-final, as we see a little bit of a jockey for positioning. But it's Taylor that goes, sets up a high line, straight to the tip. There's the 5, lifts up that ankle, recognises that he's going to readjust his line and walks out of that for the kick out. So Kai opted not to go for that, and it looks like it could have been a good decision.
But we've got Kai, super smooth, really flowy. We've got Taylor, a little springier and a little more alive when he comes out of his turns, like we saw from Johnny the Ripper before. But here goes Kai getting his campaign underway.
There's Blue Moon Board, the model he won his world title on, straight to the nose, walks out of that opening nose ride, back up towards the tip. There's a 5, locks in a tight 5, walks out of that nicely, and then back to the tail, swoops it, sweeps it, sets himself up with a stall, clean, crisp footwork for another 5, walks out of that 5, and then climbing and dropping from the front third of the board, accelerating through this section. Great technique from Kai Sallas. Incredible the way he just climbed and dropped, weaved, and found another opportunity to get his toes over the nose and back to the tail, and then rides out. And Kai Sallas' patience has played to his advantage, because he's going to have a really significant score on the board, Josh.
Knees and his ankles just rolling that way, but this nice nose ride on the takeoff, gets a little wobbly coming back out of it, but again, gets his composure. Nice 5, 10, and here it is, just swooping the turn back, really calm, collected, 5, driving through the pocket. Here it is here, I love this, weaving, using his knees and ankles, his body dropping, climbing, compressing off the bottom, extending out of the lip, and then 5 through the pocket, speedy, knows that the work's not done yet, has to finish cleanly, and finishes like an ultimate professional.
That was incredible in your earliest competitive days.
Definitely. Those guys definitely paved the way for not just myself, but all the longboarders around the world, and great role models for the Hawaiian surfers. But here we go, big TJ Jensen up on this one, Sam.
Into the second nose ride, sweeping turns between those two critical nose rides. A third nose ride into a 10. Holds that 10, arches back, hands down in that nose ride, hands up in this 5, and then hands down, locks in a tighter 5, walks cleanly out. He'll drop knee, sets himself up, and then riding through this section here into the kick out. So both surfers now, I feel as if they've kind of got pretty equivalent scores.
Where Taylor's a little more stretched out, then gets into the 10 drive through, but then Taylor has the advantage with a little more spray and a little more spring out of his turn. So Taylor's maybe a little more positive off the tail.
More variety perhaps in Taylor's ride.
Yep, and spring, but then here's nice hang 10 there. So it's just different surfing, but both guys do it so well. Nice 5 there. See, that's a little more stretched out, but then coming back and with the spring out of here, I would have loved to see him get up into this lick line and just finish with a little clean floater that we saw.
Things get a little bit slower towards the back half of that first semi-final, but there's a set coming through, and Kai Sallas is turning. He's got a 6. He's up. He sets his line straight to the tip, and a dropping 10. Manages to just ride out of that. Floats it. That was super high degree of difficulty 10, and almost pearled, but came out of that pearl straight into a float. Accelerates now back to the open face, locks a 5, and then looks to cross step away from the nose and just eye up the steep section of the wave. Gets low, keeps his eyes down the line. Things will get steep here as he goes back for a touch of the 5, locks in the 5, soul arch, arm up, and then to the tail, into the float, and stands tall. Kai Sallas doing the job all the way onto the sand, and that was...
Dry docks that one. There's not many opportunities out here, so you got to make the most of it. Great 5-10 here, committed through the pocket, just getting the nose stuck a little bit, but still clean enough. Big floater on the outside, so 2 major maneuvers before he even gets to the midway section. So really nice wave. A little bit of downtime here. If we think of Taylor's last wave, a little bit more energy through this midsection. He was weaving and dropping and climbing and drop knee turns and a little bit more spice, where Kai's got a little bit of trimming and a bit more down time here. But coming onto this inside, the wave got a little steeper. Great 5, standing tall, little soul arch there, coming out of it, really sucky. Big floater, little bit of loss of control, but he finishes it, dry docks it. Really good surfing, great wave. going to be interesting to see where they go, Sam.
Near 70% in events that he's entered at WSL level. Kai Sallas answering back, looking to replace that 6 to the tip. Holds a 10, extends into a 5, and then kicks out as Taylor Jensen looks at this set, gets a high line, a couple of cross steps, in and out, recognizing that he wants something with a better scoring potential, chasing a 6.18. Bells Beach as we move into the last 2 minutes 50 seconds of semi-final number 2, with Taylor Jensen chasing a 6.18 into a 10 on his singleton model, the single fin 9.6, swooping a nice turn back to the pocket, clean footwork in and out of 2 hang 5s after an opening 10, and you start to think that this wave has got big scoring potential as he locks in a 5 and then walks out of that 5 and then just goes back into that beautiful swooping turn off the top, off the bottom, back up for another nose ride of Josh Constable. This feels like a very important score for Taylor as he moves all the way through to the inside and then boom, floats it, stands tall, feels the vibe, says hello to his family, his fans shooting in around the world, and he knows that's going to be the score that he needs.
Sursic great, takes off, beautiful 5, gets back, 10, and then this swooping carve, really clean, throwing a lot of water, back up, taps the nose, that's where he comes back, steadies. He knows that he's on his way to the score, but he has to finish. We can see the red fin in the bottom of that board. Great 5 here. This is a really well-served wave, Sam. Under pressure, he knows he has to finish cleanly, and the score is going to come.
Absolutely. So Taylor, of course, lost in the semi-final last year to Kai Sallas, and is this redemption for Taylor?
Wow, that's a great score. I love that.
That's pretty distinctive. I mean, I have to admit, Kai Sallas' opening 7 was incredible, but Kai Sallas up and riding, looking to replace a 6 as we move into the last 50 seconds. Kai kicks out. He will get the opportunity to be the first out for priority. And what a performance from the big man. But big shout out to Kai Sallas, our reigning world champion, our winner here at Bells last year, finishing in 3rd. It's going to bode well for the continuation of the season, and both of these men still at the top of their game, Josh.